Okay, so I'm back for another dream report. This was actually a week or so ago. I just never got around to posting about it. Okay, so the setting of this dream was actually my ex-girlfriend's apartment, and that's important to know when I get into explaining. So okay, ex-girlfriend, still spend a lot of time together, maybe closer than the average exes are. However, no sex. That comes in. That's important later on. I'm not just telling you that for no reason. So she gets up early. That is the same waking life. She gets up early. She leaves before me. I'm there sleeping. So I get. I dream that I'm waking up and getting ready to leave. She's not there. I'm getting up. I'm getting ready to leave, as I would actually do later on in waking life. So I get up and I'm putting on. I start to get dressed, and at some point there was some noise. There was some noise, and or the fact that I was calling her phone was kind of a distraction. So she's coming in. I think I hear her coming in the door, but like I said before, I was distracted by some noise and or the fact that I was talking to her on the phone. I shouldn't say or, because at this point I definitely was talking to her on the phone. So I get her voicemail, and the voicemail message is really strange for several reasons. One, what she says doesn't really sound like a voicemail message. It's as though she's just sending out some message on Facebook or something, telling her friends, hey, who's ever still on campus, right before break, hey, if you're still on campus, hit me up and maybe we can do something. But it's on her voicemail. Okay, second strange thing about it, if I can paraphrase here, she said something like, hey niggas, if y'all still around, cooling it, then something like you can give me a call. One, she would never say that. She would never use the N word. Just that's not her. Two, cool. Who says cooling it? What is that? And then, like I mentioned before, the fact that it wasn't even really like a voicemail message anyway. So I'm on the phone. I'm listening to this. At this point, I walk out of her room, and because I thought I heard her coming in, it was her coming in. So I'm telling her like, this is freaking me out. Like, this is a really strange voicemail message you have. Like, what is this? So I'm just really kind of out of it at this point. So I look down the stairs where the entrance to the apartment is, and I'm like, what is this? Like, I feel like I even said something like, I feel like I'm in another world or something. Like, it's freaking me out. And at this point, I'm looking at her, and she looks really short. She's short, but she looks like literally like a dwarf or midget or an amputee or something. Like, she's walking on half of her legs. And I'm telling her something like, yeah, you need to come upstairs, like, come up here. And I think I was even telling her, like, you need to stop being so short, as if I was telling her, stop looking like that. So eventually she comes upstairs, and then randomly there's just like some white guy, I want to say like dark brown hair, and he's like dancing, and they're like dancing in the apartment. And then at that point, it was one of those things where at that point that made complete sense. Like, somehow that was actually linked to her being short and what we were just talking about. It actually made complete sense to me at that point. It was like the apartment became a party or a club for just a couple seconds. And then he was gone, that was over, and it was just back to me and her, me telling her how this was just so weird, it didn't seem right. So we walk into her bedroom, and I'm just like, this is really weird to me. Like, it seems like I'm in a dream world or something. And so I guess at this point I start questioning. I really questioning, am I dreaming? So I try to do my hand test, looking at my hands. I'm looking, but it's like I'm doing it so frantically. I really don't think in retrospect that I was looking close enough to determine much of anything. But I guess I was still semi-convinced. But then I say, well, let me flip the switch. So I'm flicking the switch on her wall, and the lights don't turn on and off, but there's a lamp on already that's not connected to that switch or anything. And I want to say maybe like just flickered a little bit, but it didn't go on or off. But at this point, I guess I'm convinced that I'm dreaming, but I'm still pretty, I don't know, it's like I'm overexcited. I'm not completely convinced, but I'm convinced enough to, going back to why I told you that in the beginning, to me to say, okay, well, this is a lucid dream. I can do whatever I want, like sex. So I start like coming towards her. I'm coming towards her, and in a really frightening kind of way when I thought about it afterwards. Like I felt like, what am I, a rapist or something? Because she was kind of not necessarily physically pushing me back, but she was not all that welcoming towards it. And so then I got a text message. That is to say, in waking life, I got a text message which woke me up. So that was it. It was over. But I wonder, what the hell? Like, what would I have done? Like, had I not been woken up, I hope I wouldn't have done anything crazy. But I feel like I still may not have been completely lucid, because if I really was, I would have said, okay, this is my dream. We're gonna do what I want to do, or maybe I'll leave and I'll make you be someone else, or we'll go to a beach somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So none of that happened. It was just like, it was really uncontrolled. It was like I knew I was in control, but I didn't think much. I didn't really think anything out. And then that text message woke me up, and I was like, maybe if I go back to sleep, I can go back into that dream. But then I got another text message, and so I decided to just let it go. It was somewhat late, and probably near 10 o'clock, so I'm like, let me just get up. So I got up. That was the last lucid dream experience I've had, so I guess it's progress, but I think I've been slacking, you know, try to go like back, look back at things that Tim said, and Reece too, you know, I gotta give a shout out to Reece Jones, because I was watching some of his videos, and I'm thinking, you know, I really have been slacking on my reality checks. They're just really vague, like, oh, let me look at my hand, but why am I looking at my hand? Like, okay, am I really examining my hand? Am I saying, okay, how do I know this is my hand and not my hand in the dream? You know, look at the fact that I have these calluses on 3 of my, you know, below my fingers, or that this hand looks like it has sort of an X, and this one somewhat of a Y looking thing, or, you know, really paying attention to detail, and then like also trying to do the stretch my hands and fingers like Reece said. So I think I'm getting better. It's becoming more habitual. I had a timer on my phone, like, for these reality checks, and I still do that, but I'm trying to do more on my own, so I'm not relying upon this, you know, this machine to remind me, but it, you know, really becomes habitual, you know, inside myself. And another thing I also did, thanks to watching one of Reece's videos, I thought about the fact that first month or so of me getting into this lucid dream, I remember dreams just about every night. Whereas now that's kind of turned off, and it's maybe a couple nights a week. So I was just like, this morning, I just laid in bed, like I know I had some dreams, but I can't remember them. So I'm just going to close my eyes and try to remember them. Unfortunately, that resulted in me probably sleeping at least an hour later than I should have. But I did remember some things. And even once I got up, I tried to sit up and try to remember things. And in that case, I wouldn't necessarily fall asleep. And a little bit came back to me. So I guess I'll try to keep that up and keep a journal too. I haven't actually started a journal. This is the closest thing to a journal I've done, really. But I don't know. I guess that's about it. Another interesting thing I've noticed over the past month, whenever I mention lucid dreaming to, I don't know, just say I mentioned it to 6 people, like 3 of them tell me, oh, I have those all the time. I'm like, that is not fair. You know, like, I'm working, I'm trying to do all this stuff to experience this, and then I meet someone and, oh yeah, I have those all the time, like, just about every night. My brother said that, and 2 other people said that. I'm just like, wow, that's not fair, but whatever, hopefully I'll be like them one day, but even more advanced, because I'm consciously trying to do this and trying to master it. So, yeah, once again, thanks to everybody out there with all your good information. You know, Tim, Lucidity, Reece Jones. There's another guy whose name I can't remember, but I'll be sure to shout you out next time. So yeah, thanks, and I guess feel free to comment or whatever, any advice. Until next time.